So back at it again in part 3. I'm just heading towards Darkroot Forest now. There's a few things that I'll be collecting there that are of interest. My first stop will be to get the Grass Crest Shield and the leather armor. I won't be using the leather armor or the longbow that comes with it, but it's on the way, so I might as well get it while I'm there. Then I will be scouring the forest and do a bit of corpse collecting. So the wolf ring, partisan, elite knight armor, as well as a couple of soul shards are all things that I'll be picking up. Now, some of you may have noticed that I've been putting links in the description. I created a Facebook account specifically to feed all of the videos that I upload on YouTube to go through onto Facebook. I've also got a Twitter account that does the exact same thing, although I don't really do any tweeting at all. I'm thinking I should probably start putting that to good use and using it as a means of announcing when I will be going and taking part in some PvP. So I've actually been thinking about it for a little while now, I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. Now, you may have noticed before that I didn't kill the crystal lizard. That was just around here. The reason for that same reason why I left the crystal lizard just before the Taurus demon. I'm going to wait until I've got a bit more humanity on my counter before I come back, just so I've got a better chance of getting titanite chunks from them. Yes, back to what I was saying about the links in the description. I've got the Facebook account, the Twitter. I also have a link to Neoseeker, which I'm not sure if any of you have actually gone and looked. It's just a gaming website, a lot of forums on there, and I am fairly active within the Dark Souls message board community on there. And also another link that I've put there is to my Skype profile to be able to send me a request on there. So I've had quite a few people add me recently. I think I've only really actually had a voice chat with one out of those several people. But I'm thinking, if there is anybody out there who wants to chat on Skype, could probably organise just one big Dark Souls group chat. You know, just to brainstorm a few ideas, you know, what's going on, what's happening here and there, and so on. So yeah, if you feel like chatting with me sometime or getting in touch, feel free to send a request on Skype. It's usually the easiest way to get a hold of me. With the amount of messages that I get on PSN, Neoseeker, as well as through YouTube, it is very time consuming trying to sort of juggle replying to as many messages as possible while still keeping up with everything in my day-to-day life. So I do spend a few hours a day on Skype, and it'd be a much easier way for me to be able to answer any questions and queries. Alright, so I'm heading up towards the watering now. And then after that it'll be the Elite Knight armor set. What I'll do after picking up the Elite Knight set, I will head towards Beatrice's summon sign, quit the game and reload, as all of these enemies, the Demon Bush, I think they're called, do follow you in to that room, so it's just a way of being able to reset them all so I can summon Beatrice without being hassled by enemies. More often than not, I've found when summoning her and running up the stairs with enemies chasing you, she just seems to get stuck underneath the stairs trying to fight them, and because she doesn't have any poise, she's just constantly getting stun locked by enemies down there. Alright, so there's the Elite Knight set. Now towards Beatrice's summon sign and to quit and reload. Okay, so now I can summon her without worrying about any enemies coming in. And you can get fairly close to this stone giant here without aggroing it. You can also take Beatrice out and start aggroing the enemies one at a time, so she can kill them for you. You can get a decent amount of souls by doing that without having to actually do any work. At times, Beatrice's AI seems to go a little bit funny. Absent without leave would probably be more accurate. As you see what she's doing, she's just standing there, running around from side to side without actually attacking. There we go. If you're low on vitality, it's a good idea to just make sure that your health bar is constantly full, as there's one attack from the Moonlight Butterfly that ideally you just wouldn't want to get hit with. This one. Despite Beatrice's AI acting up from time to time as it does, she is quite useful. I was only getting in 48 damage from each of my arrows there. Okay, so from here I'm going to get the Watchtower basement key, the Divine Ember, and then I'll be homeward boning back to the bonfire. just going back to what I mentioned before about sending me a request on Skype, if you do want to send a request and voice chat, you'll probably find that the way I do talk on Skype, especially with mates, is very different to my live commentary. So there'll probably be a lot of things I'll say that would surprise you on there. Like in the first part, when I went into talking a little bit about myself, I'm not sure just how well received my humour is going to be. I mean, an example of the sort of thing I find funny. A couple of years or so ago, my girlfriend at the time, obviously an ex now, asked me, what would I do without you? To which I replied, probably starve. Now, this ex, just to clarify, is an ex because we broke up, not because I actually let her starve. I'll just clear that up now. But that's the sort of dry, cold humour that I find hilarious. So if you do chat to me on Skype and hear me coming out with some things that come across as being a little blunt, it's probably just because I'm joking around and haven't made it as obvious as I probably should have. Alright, so back to the matter at hand here. I'm heading to Lautrec's cell so I can free him. Then it'll be off to Firelink to kill him and take his ring of favour and protection. After I've done that, I'll homeward bound back to the bonfire which I rested at in the Undead Parish. And while I'm at Firelink, I'll upgrade my Estus flask as well. Now, there is one thing I wanted to mention just in regards to the use of weapons, or rather choice of weapons. I think I've said quite a few times now that the Great Scythe has been my favourite weapon since a few weeks into Dark Souls. Now, I wouldn't say that's entirely true, as one of the first weapons that I started using quite a lot when I first started back in October 2011 was the halberd. Alright. Okay, so the reason I was just standing there with my shield up is because the channeler has a multi-hit attack that he uses, and when he's powered up after doing that dance of his, it can kill you in one hit. I was just wanting to show you what the attack looked like, but he decided to jump off the ledge to get away from me instead. Coming from the Great Swamp, it's probably because my pyromancer smells a little bit. Had to get away from that stench. Yeah, about what I was saying in regards to the halberd. I remember on my first few characters, I used to send messages to players who I was either summoned by or summoned if they had a halberd that they were willing to trade. It did take a little while before I finally got one. But when I did, I started running around with dual halberds, which was quite interesting. Not something I'd really recommend if you're only 5 days into the game. But I thought it'd be cool to try out, so yeah, hence why I asked so many players online if they had one they were willing to trade. Alright, the key I just picked up then will allow me to get the rusted iron ring when I return to the asylum. And now I'm just going to kill Lautrec. Now, normally I would kill him in his cell, but for those just starting out, this will be a much easier way to deal with him. Two knees and it's all over. So I'll just quit and reload. And there's the Ring of Favour and Protection. Alright. Time to go back to the parish, I think. From here I'll upgrade my halberd, my composite bow, and judging by the amount of souls I have, I should be able to upgrade my scimitar as well to about +2, I want to say. I could upgrade it to +5 here, but I want to leave myself with 10,000 souls. I'll get another 10,000 after killing the bell gargoyles, which will be enough for me to get the Crest of Artorias. I think I'll do one quick run through, well, around the parish to see if I can get a boulder side sword drop from one of the boulder knights. If not, it's no big loss. But I don't really fancy running through this section dozens of times just for one weapon. If it drops, it drops. If it doesn't, well, that's too bad. Move on. Even a rapier would be nice. No, okay then. Well, that's a shame. My next stop will be up there.